Yes. So now let us understand what are the key topics that we need to remember. So starting off with the theorem 1 that we have in quadrilaterals, the very first theorem or concept that you must remember is that in any quadrilateral means any figure which is having four sides, right? उसमें further we generally try to look into whether we are dealing with a parallelogram, right? Maybe you are dealing with a rhombus, maybe you are dealing with a kite, right? So what are all of these figures? They are having four sides, and इसको हम कहते हैं quadrilateral है. Now what is the very specific property of a quadrilateral is, if you can see, we are having a b c d as a quadrilateral. The moment I will add all the angles, angle a plus angle b, angle c plus angle d, the sum is always going to be 360 degree, right? Like in a triangle we have three sides, and the moment जब हम सारे sides को add करते हैं, सारे angles को add करते हैं, the sum comes out to be 180. अब four sides के लिए it is going to be 360, right? So this is the very first concept, and now let's dive into the questions. Question number first is based on the same property. Three angles of a quadrilateral are 75 degrees, 90 degrees, and 75 degrees. What is the fourth angle? So this is a very easy question. I want you guys to try it out and write your answers in the chat. In the meanwhile, I'm waiting for your answers. So, like I said, we are going to make use of the same concept, जहाँ पे हम सारे angles को add कर लेंगे. Assuming this is my x, which is the fourth angle, and the sum is going to be 360, right? So this is 75 plus 90 plus 75 plus x is equal to 360, and x is equal to 360 minus 75 plus 75 is, this is 14 and 150, and this is minus of 90. So solve this and see what is the correct answer. Write your answers in the chat. What is it going to be? Are you guys getting 120 as the correct answer? Yes or no? Which is option D in this case, but still. अगर option D आपको आ रहा है as an answer, so it is the correct one. Now let's look into the next one. So this question is very basic in terms of कि जो भी हमारे पास angles and property है in the case of quadrilaterals, उस पे based हमने एक question कर लिया है. Now the second one is ABCD is a rhombus. Now there is some extra additional information, as in angle ACB is equal to 40, and we need to tell what is the angle ADB. So what does a rhombus look like? सबसे पहले वो बना लेते हैं. So this is a very rough diagram, right? So make A, B, C, and D, right? Now they are saying ACB. ACB, so this is going to be this particular angle, right? इसको हम मान लेते 40. It is given to me in the question. Now we need to talk about the angle ADB. ADB. Now this angle is how much? This is going to be my question mark. Now you guys think and tell me what can be the answer. Right? Think. Now what are the properties when we talk about, जब भी हम diagonals बात करते हैं, diagonals की बात करते हैं in the case of a rhombus, what are the properties? Do they bisect? Bisect means at a particular, क्या कहते हैं, 90 degrees पे करते हैं या नहीं? That is the first question, right? If you are able to tell whether this is 90 degrees or not, उसके बाद ही हम इसका आंसर बता सकते हैं, right? So think and tell me. See, जब भी हम किसी rhombus के साथ deal करते हैं, do we say all the sides are equal? AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to AD, right? Now what about this angle? Can I comment on this angle or not? Because if you will focus on the triangle AOD, so this is a hint which I am giving. If you can focus on the triangle AOD, then also you can tell the value of ADB as an angle. Right? Think. See, basically, इसका answer होगा 50 degrees. Now, coming to the main point. If you can relate the 2 points that all the sides are equal in the fact that the diagonals bisect at 90 degrees, आपको इस angle की value 50 ही आएगी. Now you guys will let me know कि why is it so. इसका reason आप मुझे comment में लिख के बताएंगे that why is it so that this angle is equal to 50 degrees. And the hint is basically यहाँ पे आप triangle consider करेंगे and you are going to apply the angle sum property here again, जिसमें the sum of all the angles in a triangle is 180 degrees and so on, आपको value मिल जाएगी, right? So this is the other question, which is again relating to angle sum property, but in the case of a triangle. Now this is the third question, and ये काफी basic question का type है that we generally get in the GAT paper, जो CUET GAT का paper है. This question says that we are having 4 angles because you are dealing with the quadrilateral ABCD taken in the order this. So it means if you're looking at the ratio of the angles, what is it? 3:7:6:4, right? Can I apply the angle sum property in the case of a quadrilateral? Yes. Now assuming कि x is the common factor throughout इस ratio में, so can I say 3x is the angle A, 7x is the angle B, 6x is the angle C, and 4x is the angle D. And the moment I'm adding all of them, the sum should be equal to 360, right? Now add all of them. 7 plus 3 is 10. 6 plus 4 is again 10. So this is going to be 360, or 20x is going to be 360. So cancelling the zeros, this is going to be 18 degree, right? Now let us calculate the angles separately. That how much is it going to be? 3 into 18. This is going to be 54. 7 into 18. So हम individually सारे angles को calculate कर रहे हैं. The reason is, how can I identify whether we are dealing with a parallelogram? Parallelogram में क्या होता है? Let me just discuss this key property. Parallelogram में opposite angles are equal. If this is alpha, it is going to be alpha as well. जैसे ये ABCD, if this is the parallelogram, angle A is going to be equal to angle C and angle D is going to be equal to angle B. अगर if same property यहाँ पे, if we are getting a pair of angles which are equal to each other, then you will say it is going to be option B. Otherwise, we will say it is some other option, right? So what will this be? This is 56 and 126. Then 6 into 18. This is going to be 108, and 4 into 18 is how much? 32. So this is going to be 72 degrees. Now, if you will just make a list of all the angles, this is 54, this is 126, this is 108, and this is 72. क्या कोई भी दो angle same है? No. So it means it is not going to be a parallelogram, right? Anything else? Any other property that you guys can think? देखो, generally in the case of trapezium only, all the angles are distinct, right? In the case of rhombus, when the sides are equal, angles भी equal हो सकते हैं. That is one of the aspect. Kite में 2 sides are equal. So you have to think and see that what can be the possibility in this particular question. कुछ questions में directly angles पूछ लेते हैं, that which is going to be the largest angle, then you will say it is 126 for instance. Otherwise, because they're asking you trapezium जिसमें सारे angles unequal हैं, so ये भी एक possibility हो सकती है, right? So I'll show you the next question and think and tell me. Yes. Now what another thing that you can do is, अब एक और चीज करके देखिए, add these two angles. Add 108 and 72, so it is going to be 180, right? Add 54 with 126, it is again 180. Can I say that these two angles, for instance, this is A, this is B, this is C and D. I'm just explaining you why it is exactly option C. Can I say कि angle A and B are forming supplementary angle as a pair? कोई भी दो angles जिसका sum 180 होता है, they are supplementary. And the same goes with C and D. The sum is 180, so you will say it is supplementary. So you will say that AB is parallel to CD. Right? इस केस में हम कह सकते हैं, या in general, co-interior angles का concept भी लगा सकते हो, that if two lines are parallel, the co-interior angles, for instance, this is alpha and beta, the sum of those two angles, if it is going to be 180, then you will say that yes, the two lines are going to be parallel, right? So now let us move on to the next one. This is question number 4. Question number 4 says the diagonals AC and BD of a parallelogram ABCD intersect each other at the point O. So let's make a parallelogram. So naming this down as A, B, C and D, they are intersecting at the point O. Right? Now it is given to us that DAC is going to be 32 degrees and AOB is equal to 70 degrees. Now what is the value of DBC? DBC मुझे ये angle बताना पड़ेगा. So think and tell me, what all properties can we apply in this particular question? First of all, you will say if we are dealing with a parallelogram, what do we understand? कि AD is going to be parallel to BC, opposite sides are parallel. So can I say the alternate interior angles are going to be equal? Alternate interior means the angle BCO is going to be equal to DAO, which is equal to 32 degrees, right? So this is 32. And can I say that the angle AOB plus angle BOC, they form supplementary pair, as in the sum is equal to 180 degrees. Now what is the angle BOC? It is equal to 180 minus 70, which is going to be 110 degrees. Now focus on the triangle BCO, apply angle sum property. The sum of BO and C is going to be 180 degrees. So आपको DBC की value मिल जाएगी. So it means we are going to add all the angles. This is 32 and angle DBC तो हमें calculate करना है. So इसका sum 180 होगा. So calculate quickly and tell me how much is it. Plus of DBC. This is equal to 180 में से मैंने 142 subtract कर दिया. So this is going to be 38, which is option C, right? So this completes the question. Let us look into the next one. Now this is a very important point that we must remember. This is the BPT theorem या basic proportionality theorem जो कहते हैं. Even though we have discussed this particular concept in depth back when we were discussing the NCERT ka series, that if I am having a triangle ABC, given the fact that I am drawing a straight line which is parallel to the third side, given the fact as in DE is parallel to BC, जिसमें D एक point है जो AB पे lie करता है and E lies on AC. If this is the scenario, then DE is automatically equal to half the length of BC. This is a known fact, right? And there is no restriction कि D and E हमेशा midpoint होंगे. They can be, they may not be. But just the fact that if D is parallel to BC, then I can say that D is equal to half of the length of BC. Now, how can we apply this in this particular question? Think and tell me. This is the question. In triangle ABC, AB is equal to 5 centimeter, BC is equal to 8 centimeter, CA is equal to 7 centimeter. If D and E, this is my point, D and E are the midpoints of the sides A, B and BC, then we need to determine the length DE. So it means we are having D and E as the midpoints, right? Now generally BPT theorem से हम कह सकते हैं that if I am starting from a midpoint D जो AB पे lie करता है and extending it to another point on AC such that EB midpoint है, so automatically you will say that DE is going to be parallel to BC and DE is basically what? Half of the opposite side. Now just check and see whether can we apply the same theorem or not in this particular scenario. AB is 5, BC is 8, CA is 7. Now D and E are the, okay, so we need to draw it properly. This is the scenario, right? So in this case, this is my DE. So let me just rewrite. DE is going to be parallel to AC in this scenario. So you will say DE ka jo length hai, it is going to be half of AC, which is 7/2 or 3.5 centimeters is going to be the length of DE. Right? So हमने same BPT का theorem apply किया है. and you have got the length of DE. Now coming to question number 6. Question number 6 says there are two parallelograms, which is ABCD, the bigger one, and AEFG, the smaller one, as you can see over the screen. If angle C, this particular angle is 55 degree, now you need to determine what is F. What concept can we apply? Can you guys think? Can you guys see that AB is going to be parallel to DC, right? Because ABCD is a parallelogram. है ना? Now what about if you're focusing on the parallelogram AEFG? तो AEFG के हिसाब से तो AE has to be parallel to GF, right? So can I somehow say, see it's up to you how you want to imagine, to be honest. जैसे आप इसको extend करके भी imagine कर सकते हो, and you can simply look into the corresponding angles, that as in if I'm having these two lines and there is a transversal line, ये corresponding angle is going to be equal to this one, right? Angle 1 is equal to angle 2 and so on. So उससे आप directly भी देख सकते हो, और आप ये कह सकते हो, in other words, that angle A is going to be equal to angle C, which is going to be 55 degrees, because ABCD is a parallelogram. And because the smaller triangle is also a parallelogram, this angle is further going to be equal to angle F, which is again your 55 degrees. Thus the question is over. Right? या तो आप corresponding angle से समझ के देखिए, या फिर straight off आप देख सकते हैं by applying the fact that in a parallelogram opposite angles are equal, so you can say that this is going to be 55 degrees. Right? Now I'll show you the next question. This is question number 7. Think and tell me that if the diagonals of a quadrilateral ABCD bisect each other, and it is given that angle A is 35 degrees, how can I determine angle B? Think and write your answer. So whenever we say कि कोई भी quadrilateral है जिसमें हमने specify नहीं किया, we haven't specified whether it is a parallelogram or whether it is a rhombus or whether it is a kite. But if we are given that the diagonals bisect, you will say that the parallelogram or the ABCD quadrilateral is nothing but a parallelogram, right? Now if we are going to draw one, this is ABCD, and it is given to me angle A is 35 degree, angle B क्या हो जाएगा? You can apply the concept of co-interior angle, जिसमें आप सीधा 180 से 35 degrees minus कर देंगे, so you will get your answer. Right? Now take a minute and solve this question. Read this question carefully. It says that ABCD is a trapezium in which AB is parallel to DC and two angles are given to you. We need to find the angle C and D. So let's draw a trapezium. Right? So in this case, you are having ABCD as the trapezium, meaning something like this, जिसमें angle A is equal to 45 and angle B is also 45. इसमें ensuring the fact that AB is parallel to CD or DC, what will be the angle C and D? Right? Now it's up to you. Generally, the moment हम जब कहते हैं that AB is parallel to CD, can I apply the concept of co-interior angles? As in, if I'm adding angle A plus angle D, the sum is going to be 180 degrees. Similarly, angle B and angle C is going to be 180 degrees. दोनों equation से हम separately निकाल सकते हैं that what is going to be the value of C and D. So let's quickly do that. Angle A is 45, so 45 plus angle D is equal to 180. So angle D की value क्या आ जाएगी? 180 minus 45, right? And angle C की भी value same रहेगी, right? So whatever the difference is, it is going to be the value of B and C and D, right? So इसमें और कोई concept लगाना ही नहीं है. Just the fact that if you know two lines are parallel, you can consider the co-interior angles and look into the difference. This is question number 9, and I want you guys to just think and tell me that is there any theorem or property जो हमने just अभी पढ़ा है, क्या वो apply कर सकते हैं या नहीं? Through ABC lines RQ, PR and QP are drawn and are respectively parallel to the sides BC, CA and AB of a triangle ABC, and we need to show that BC is half of QR. Right? How can we do that? Any property that you guys can think of? The hint is the BPT theorem itself. इसमें the fact is that if you know that this particular length, what are parallel to each other? Through ABC lines RQ is drawn parallel to BC. Right. So इसी line से we can say indirectly कि जब BC eventually parallel है RQ के, you can again apply the concept of BPT, जिसमें BC is going to be half the length of the opposite side. Now this question is interesting. We are having a figure as you can see over the screen which is 8.7. P is the midpoint. The moment you are saying midpoint of BC, what is the condition? BP is equal to PC, then only we will say that P is the midpoint. Of the side BC, that is okay. Now angle BAP is equal to angle DAP. Right? So these two sides are equal and these two angles are equal to each other. Now understand carefully what all is given to us and हमें क्या find करना है. Right? Anyone with the idea? इसको हम angle 1 कर लेते हैं, इसको angle 2 कर लेते हैं. So you know as a fact that angle 1 is equal to angle 2. Do we know anything else? See? If this is an angle 3, assume that this is an angle 3, is there any relationship between angle 1 and angle 3 and in turn, the sides AB and BP? Yes or no? Think. So angle 1 is equal to angle 2, but can you relate and see that if ABCD is a parallelogram, जिसमें हम कह सकते हैं that AB is parallel to CD, so angle 2 is going to be angle 3, alternate interior angles हो जाएंगे, and in turn from these two equations you will see that angle 1 is equal to angle 3, or when two opposite angles are equal, the sides are also going to be equal. So AB is going to be equal to BP, right? Now what else? We need to say that AD is equal to twice of CD, right? So AB is equal to DC. You guys agree? Because ABCD is a parallelogram. And how can I relate BP? BP को कैसे relate कर सकते हैं? Can I say it is half of BC? And what is BC? Half of BC? Anything in terms of AD? Yes or no? या तो BB कह सकते हो that AD is twice of AB. That is also fine. By the same conclusion जो हमने अभी draw किया है. And you will get that it is equal to twice of CD. That is also completely fine. So it's just the fact that कि हमने एक concept तो use किया in terms of the fact that two lines are parallel and making two of the sides as equal, and further coming to this conclusion that AD is going to be twice of CD. Now I'll just show you the next one. This next question is also interesting, but take a minute and try to draw what the diagram is talking about. So in this case, we are having ABCD, which is a parallelogram. Right? So this is A, B, C, and D. So AB is 10 centimeters, AD is 6. And the bisector of A meets DC at E. या तो हम एक और वे से भी ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. Let us take this down as the other way around. इसको थोड़ा और सही से बना लेते हैं. Yes. So the bisector of A. Now they are saying the bisector of the angle. It meets CD at E such that AE and BC when produced means just to extend both of these lines. So कहाँ पे मिल जाएंगे ये? कहीं यहाँ पे, which is going to be F. Now they are asking us what is this length CF, assuming the fact it is X. So can I say that AD is going to be equal to BC, which is going to be 10, right? Now let us again make angles. Angle 1 is going to be angle 2 just because हम bisector of angle A consider कर रहे हैं. And what about if AD is parallel to BC? AD is parallel to BC. Angle 1 is going to be equal to this particular angle, which is this part, right? And corresponding angle, say this is going to be angle 2, right? Now because angle 1 is equal to angle 2, what can you say about, focus on the triangle AFB? Opposite angles are equal, opposite sides are also going to be equal, so it means AB is equal to BF. And BF क्या है? 10 plus X. This is automatically equal to AB, which is 6. So X की क्या value आ जाएगी? Just give me a second. I have forgotten to change the measurements. So now AB is 10 and AD is 6. So this is going to be 6. Now it's right. So AB is equal to 10 and this is equal to 6 plus X. So X की value आ जाएगी आपके पास 4. Right? So I hope that this question is clear to all of you. Now let us see the last question for today. In this particular figure, which is 8.11, AB is parallel to DE and it is given to us that AB is equal to DE, AC is parallel to DF and further AC is equal to DF. Now focus on AB is parallel to DE and both of them are equal. What is the other one? AC is parallel to DF and both of them are equal in terms of the length. Now, how can you relate the two and prove that BC is going to be parallel to EF? This is a proving based question. इसमें हम कोई exactly length derive नहीं कर रहे हैं, कुछ calculate नहीं कर रहे हैं, right? See, the moment you are saying that AB is parallel to DE and both of them are equal length, so you will say that ABED is a parallelogram, right? And the other one is AC is parallel to DF. So ACFD is also going to be another parallelogram. The only condition I need is the two opposite sides are parallel and they are equal. Right? Now what else? In this case, now you will say and think, ki what about BE and AD? Right? What can you talk about BE and AD? If I am saying that ABED is a parallelogram, so ABE should be equal to AD and parallel bhi hoga. Opposite sides are parallel. Right? And what about CF? CF is also going to be equal to AD and the fact that both of them are parallel. अब क्या condition हम बता सकते हैं that AE is equal to, from these two conditions, BE is equal to CF and they are parallel to each other. अगर ये दोनों लेंस इक्वल हैं so ये दोनों लेंस भी इक्वल हो जाएंगे, right? Now the moment you are saying equal, this particular BEFC is again going to be parallelogram and in turn they are parallel to each other, right? So this is just an explanation for this question. If this question comes as a subjective one, आपको step wise लिखना पड़ेगा, but if not, you can easily look into the relationships. We have derived that we are having two parallelograms and in turn these two sides are equal, which is going to be B, C and EF and in turn which are parallel. So in the next session, we are going to discuss जो next chapter रहेगा quadrilateral के बाद. If you guys have any doubts or queries, please write it down in the comment section. And that is it for today. So thank you so much everyone, those who have attended this session live, and we will meet next week.